something where there is a delay, then this act will go. Yeah, this act will help you to procure the information related to your pending file or any information that you want to secure from the public authority or the public institution. Then there is an information commission related as part of this. We have Central Information Commission, which is set up under this RTI 2005 Act, and it is the authorized body established in to act upon the complaints received by them. The CIC, that is the Central Information Commission, consists of one Chief Information Commissioner and and not then 10 information commissioners. The CIC and ICs are appointed by the President of India. The State Information Commission will be constituted by the state government through a gazetted notification, and it consists of a State Chief Information Commissioner. And there are also, we have 10 State Information Commissioners, and they are appointed by the governor of the concerned state. So the high level members in that particular commission play an important role, and with this we can understand that the system has a mechanism where the citizen can procure the information if they feel that there is some delay or there is some hidden agenda for the process of the file or any application that is not been done in the stipulated time. So in this case, then what is the process of RTI? So the process of RTI involves a timely disclosure of information by the public authorities. As for that, you have to write application, request for the information to be furnished as per your need. So then we see that each authority covered under the RTI Act has to appoint their PIOs. This is a principal investigative officer, information officer. So this will go to them, and they will look into the matter. Suppose, for example, there's a college, and if anybody wants to know about the college information related to the infrastructure fund and all those things, why there is no improvement or development, then if they are putting an RTI, the principal will be the PIO, that is principal information officer, under which the administrative part will be the members. And what is the fee for the application fee here? It was earlier, it was 1 rupee. Now it is 10 rupees. It's for just 10 rupees. Now anybody can file an RTI against any government. So that is about RTI. Then next, we can see. One more point what I would like to add for RTI is that central intelligence and security agents are excluded from this RTI information, for the reason being that they are related to the security concerns and human rights and all those things. These central intelligence and security agents are not being excluded. Next, we are dealing with cyber laws. Yeah. Cyber or internet law refers to the regulation of internet. Because of this, growing technologies and internet-based technologies throughout the globe, information data is exchanged using this technology. Internet is growing rapidly, and cyberspace is becoming the new preferred environment of the world for every one of us. Cybercrime is defined as unlawful acts wherein the computer is either a tool or target or both. So the crime that takes through the help of the internet or the mechanical device like computers or something, then that is called as a cybercrime. To deal with that and to regulate that cybercrime, we have the cyber laws. Yeah. So what does cyber crime means, and what are the various cyber crimes we come across? So first one is cyber stalking, where physical threat that creates fear through the internet, email, phone, text, message, etc. So the first is cyber stalking. That means you get threats. Yeah, you get you get threats that too using the internet, email, phone, text. Yeah, webcams, websites, or videos. Then next one, dissemination of obscene material on online. Yeah, so obscene material on online is also part of the cyber crime. Then defamation, hacking, cracking is also part of the cyber crime. So when we are saying hacking and cracking, what happens? So the XYZ computer person tries to hack your computer system without the knowledge and or consent of the user. Then we have email spoofing, SMS spoofing, and cards, that is using of false debit cards, credit cards by the criminals. Then the unfortunate crime, that is the child pornography, assault by threat, intellectual property crime, cyber squatting, cyber vandalism, hacking computer system, cyber trespass, internet time thefts, transmitting virus, cyber terrorism, cyber warfare are few to be named as part of the cyber crime. So the net neutrality or internet neutrality or net equality is the principle that internet service providers and government should treat all data on the internet in the same manner. Net neutrality affects the regulation of the infrastructure of the internet, and every packet of data that is sent and received by a user on internet passes through routers and transmission infrastructure, which is owned by different private and public organizations, including the telecommunication companies, universities, and governments. So we see that, cyber law, because to regulate this one, these criminal activities, we see that, the cyber law came into existence in India. It touches almost all facets of transaction and activities and concerning the internet, like www, that is World Wide Web and cyberspace. Cybercrime includes criminal activities that are traditional in nature, like theft, fraud, forge, defamation, and mischief, all of them which are subject to the IPC, that is Indian Penal Code. So what we have physically, like theft, fraud, forge, defamation, mischief. So similarly, if if it happens on the technology also, they are termed to be the criminal activities. Hence, we see that the Information Technology Act or Cyber Law came into force on October 17, 2000 to deal with the cyber crimes and electronic commerce in the country. Then in 2000, there was such a big, what do we say, big activity that was taking place on with the help of the electronics, and that was purely the e-commerce thing that was been taking place. The act applies to the people in the country along with other nationals if they are charged under the law and if the crime involves a computer or network located in the country. The IT Act provides legal framework for electronic governance by giving recognition to electronic accounts, records, and digital signatures. So we also have IT Act 2000, which also is a framework for electronic governance, and it recognizes the electronic accounts, records, and digital signatures. Then what about the offenses and the penalties? So there are different offenses. The first one is tampering with computer source. So under section 65, if an individual knowingly or intentionally hides, destroys or changes, or knowingly causes another to conceal, destroy or alter any computer network or program or source code, the computer source code is required to be preserved and maintained by the law for the time being enforced. The person is imprisoned up to 3 years or with the fine up to 2 lakhs. Yeah, that is for the tampering with the computer source. Then we have hacking under section 66. If a person intentionally damages or destroys or deletes or alters any information residing in a computer source or diminishes its value or utility, they will have an imprisonment up to 3 years and fine up to 5 lakhs. Then the other offense is sending offensive messages, part of section 66A. So by any means of computer, if any information that is offensive and any information which is to be incorrect for the and it is leading to and leading or causing annoyance, inconvenience, obstruction, danger, insult, or criminal intimidation, enmity, hatred, or through any mail, if you see the purpose is been of inconvenience is there, or they are trying to mislead or deceive the receiver on the end, they will be liable and punishment for a term which extends to 3 years with fine. The Supreme Court in a Shreya Singhal versus Union of India case in 2015 gave a judgment saying that Section 66A as unconstitutional and violates the public's right to know, and how the section is now the section is struck down. So here the section is struck down because there was a case, and it the Supreme Court gave a hearing that it is violating the public right to know, fundamental right of knowing the things in the society. So that as of now, that has been struck down, been quashed. Then the next one is receiving stolen computer device. Yeah. Then we have using password of another's individual, then cheating using computer device, or publishing private images of other person, or act of cyber terrorism, then or publishing obscene scheme information or scenes, and publishing image containing sexual acts, securing access or attempt to secure a protected system document are also part of a cyber crime, and they are also liable to the imprisonment and the penalty to be paid according to the offense they will be doing. Moving on to IPR rights and the Copyright Act 1957. IPR means to intellectual property, or IP refers to creation of the intellectual or human mind. So intellectual IPR is intellectual property rights. So when we are talking about this one, first we have to understand what is intellectual property and why there is a need for the act. So intellectual property or IP refers to creations of the intellectual or humankind. They are intangible in nature. The IPRs, that is the intellectual property rights, are the rights or protections guaranteed to the owners or creators of intellectual property. The intellectual property rights include trademarks, copyrights, patents, geographical indications of goods, industrial designs, and in some countries, trade secrets also. So these are part of the intellectual property rights because they are intangible. But then the examples of IPRs are the trademarks, copyright, patents, industrial designs, logos, etc. So the IP rights give statutory expression to the ethical and economical rights of the creator of the work. The IPRs protect the creators and other producers of intellectual properties and services by granting them certain rights for a particular period. So what are the rights protected under Intellectual Property Act? One is patents in case of invention. So they give a patent as part of the IPR. Then copyright in case of musical works, writings, paintings, etc., all related to the media, they have copyright. Then the rights protected under IPR is trademarks, industrial design, integrated circuits, and we have farmer right and plant varieties, geographical indication of goods. So that is how we have. So what are the IP laws related to that? The Patent Act 1970 was as amended in 1999 and 2002 and 2005. Then we have a Copyright Act in 1957. Then the Trademark Act, as part of the IPS, these are the areas where they have got the acts also for their particular area, like the patent, the copyright, the trademarks, the design, the geographical indication. So they have that one. So let us understand what is Copyright Act 1957. Copyright is intellectual property, and it is in a work of literature, drama, music, or art, and it must be protected from illegal copying or reproduction. Yeah, the Copyright Act, which came into force in 1957, yeah, substantially now it has got amended, and it is now called as Copyright Amendment Act of 2012. So basically, it protects the creator's intellectual property, that is, the works of original expression of ideas which need to be protected. Yeah. So copyright has been supposed to be a right which a person obtains in a work which is the result of intellectual effort. So it comes into the effect the moment the work is created. So according to the Copyright Act, the author of a work is usually considered as the first owner of the copyright. In case if the author created any work where he was in agreement with or in contract service with any other employer, then the employer is considered as the first owner of the copyright. So generally when we see on the books and all those things, we see this one, Copyright Act. So yeah, suppose tomorrow you are writing some book or something, till you get published, if somebody is copying your idea, then that is an criminal offense. So in that manner, all these works of books, ideas, knowledge, and all those things, they cannot be shown physically. Yeah, their ideas cannot be shown physically. So to protect that one, this Copyright Act protects their basic right. Then let us understand, what do you mean by copyright? Copyright is set of rights given by the law to the creators of literary, musical, dramatic, and artistic works, and the procedure of cinematography, films, and sound recordings. And the copyright law protects these works by law in the country. So copyright is an exclusive right given to the author, creator, owner of the work under Section 14 of the Act. Yeah. So what does the Section 14 of the Act say? It says, in case of a literary, musical, or dramatic work, to do and authorize the doing of any of the following deeds, namely, to produce the work in any material form, to publish the work, to perform the work in public, to produce and reproduce any translation of the book, or to communicate the work by radio diffusion or community to the public. All these things are part of the copyright. So anything where, suppose if anything is implied to you and you feel that somebody is trying to steal your idea, or grab your opinion, then you can take the help of the Copyright Act. Then we have right to privacy. Yeah, what is right to privacy? The common law has always recognized a man's house as his castle, impregnable, often even to its own officers engaged in the execution of its command. So that means, within your purview, within your proximity, you are the king and you own your own castle. Your house should be your own castle. But then there are certain issues. What are those issues? Let us see. That the individual shall have full protection in person and in property, in as a principle as old as the common law. So from the day when the law is made, we see that the any individual is given a full protection, as in for a person and as well as for a property. So, but it has been found from time to time to define anew the exact nature and extent of such protection. So what protection, when we are saying protection, what is the protection, for how long is the protection, to whom is the protection, was a concern. So we see that political, social, and economic changes entail the recognition of the new rights and the common law in its internal youth, grows to meet the demands of the society. Thus, in very early times, the law gave a remedy only for physical interference with life and property, for trespass, but the right to life served only to protect the subject from battery in its various forms. Liberty meant freedom from actual restraint, and the right to property secured to the individual lands and his cattle. Later, there came a recognition of man's spiritual nature of his feeling and his intellectual, and the scope of these legal rights broadened. And now the right to life has come to mean the right to enjoy life, the right to be let alone, the right to liberty secures the exercise of extensive civil privileges, and the term property has grown to comprise every form of possession that is intangible and as well as tangible. So those are the issues that come as part of right to privacy. We see that right to privacy is an inviolable human of individuals. The degree of privacy differs from person to person and from situation to situation. The privacy is protected under Article 21 of the Constitution that guarantees the right to life and personal liberty. Under no person shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to procedure established by the law. The right to life includes the right to privacy also. So, the right to privacy means the right to let a person live on their own. The right of a person to be free from unnecessary publicity and right to live without unjustified interference by the government or any private individual or any third party with which the public is not concerned. So, suppose if there are, any public, public, what do you say? Public image, like politicians and all those things. If they feel that, we are intruding into the privacy, this right to privacy will help them and see that, they are, they can be they can be away from their unnecessary publicity, and they can also see that nobody is intruding into their personal life. And in that case, if only if the concerned public authorities matter is related to his personal life, but if it is coming to the public related issue, then we have all rights to interfere. So thus, in this lesson, we have learned that we have learned about the Official Secrets Acts, then we have learned about the RTI Act, then we have learned about the cyber laws, then IPR laws, IPR, and Right to Privacy Act. Next, let us concentrate and learn today about the laws relating to the press. So in this lesson, we will be discussing about the various laws relating to the press and media in India. Then we will elucidate the significance in the Indian context. We will also describe the special features of this law and explain the procedures and the penalties likely to be awarded under this act. So let us discuss what do you mean laws related to press regulations. So we understand that media is a tool of dissemination of information to the public and needs to be cautious and see that it is that the fundamental rights of the public are not violated. Though the media serve the public at large, there would be certain limitations to be followed for the mass media. It has to work within the purview of legal provisions while discharging the duty. It has to uphold the rights of the people and also equip themselves with the legal provisions that are available for effective functionings, and have an understanding and knowledge of media law is essential for the media professionals. So as as we are called, as the mass media is called as the fourth estate, still they are not supposed to violate the fundamental rights of the public, or they are not, and they have to work with certain limitations, and they have to work for the rights of the people. And at the same time, the media professionals should be equipped with the effective functioning and understanding and knowledge, have a knowledge of media laws. So there are certain things, the laws where the media has to follow it. So the first one we will be dealing with the Contempt of Courts Act, which was formed in 1971. This act defines and specifies the power of courts in punishing contempt of courts and to regulate their procedures. It extends to the whole of India except to the extent of to the provision of this act related to the contempt of the Supreme Court. So basically, it covers the whole India, but not within the contempt of the Supreme Act relate to the contempt of the Supreme Court. Yeah. Contempts are of two types. They are classified as a civil contempt and the criminal contempt. So, civil contempt means willful disobedience to any judgment, decree, direction, order, writ, or other process of a court, or willful breach of an undertaking given to a court. Yeah. Then the second one is the criminal contempt, which means the publication, whether by words, spoken or written, or by sign or visible representation, or any matter or doing any other act whatsoever, which are contempt in the face of Supreme Court or a High Court. So these are the two different types of the contempt: the civil court and the civil contempt and the criminal contempt. So civil contempt is related to the disobedience, and criminal is something where you are demeaning or where you are trying to defame the proceedings of the court. Contempt is in the face of the Supreme Court or a High Court can also be said as when it is alleged or appears that the Supreme Court or High Court, upon its own view, person have been guilty of contempt committed in the presence of hearing. So when it's suppose you are in a court and you are doing a hearing, then that is also a contempt. A person charged with contempt requests to be tried by some judge other than the judges in the presence of the hearing, and he can put a plea to the Chief Justice. Then in the case of a criminal contempt, the Supreme Court or a High Court may take action on its own motion or on a motion made by the AG, that is the Advocate General, or any other person with the consent in the writing of the Advocate General. So contempt by judge, magistrate, or other person acting judicially. Like general public, a judge, magistrate, or other judicial personality shall also be liable for contempt in the same manner as any other individual is liable. But if a judge or magistrate or other judicial personality makes any observation or remarks during regular proceedings, it may not lead to contempt. However, innocent publications and distribution of matter is not treated as a contempt. A person shall not be guilty of contempt of court on the ground that he has published, whether by words, spoken, or signs, any matter which interferes or obstructs the justice in any civil or criminal proceeding pending at that time of the publication is termed to be as a contempt. So there are certain exceptions for contempt, and they are defined by the Act. Like first one, fair and accurate report of judicial proceeding is not contempt. Fair criticism of judicial act is not contempt. Complaint against presiding officers of subordinate courts when not is not contempt of court. Then a punishment, then publication of information relating to the proceedings in chamber or in camera is not a contempt except in certain cases. So in the courts also we are not supposed to use the cameras also. But then if proceedings, no, in the latest also we got the information, that the proceedings can take can be covered by the electronic media also. Earlier it was not supposed to be. So punishment for contempt of court. So every high court shall have and exercise the same jurisdiction, power and authority in respect of the contempt court and subordinate to it. So what is the punishment? Contempt of court may be punished with simple imprisonment for a term of 6 months or with a fine of maximum 2,000 rupees or both. If the court is satisfied, the accused may be discharged or punished. Punishment may be awarded by the awarded may be remitted on apology. When a person is found guilty of a civil contempt, the court, if it considers that a fine will not be enough, he may be detained in a civil prison for a maximum period of 6 months. In case of an employee of a company organization, if it is proved that the contempt was committed by the organization without his knowledge, or that he exercised all due diligence to prevent its commission, he may not be liable. When the contempt has been committed by a company with the consent or connivance or any director, manager, secretary, or other officer of the company, they shall also be deemed to be guilty. There are certain limitations for actions for contempt. No court shall initiate any proceedings of contempt after 1 year from the date of which the contempt has been committed. The act doesn't apply to contempt of Nyaya Panchayats or other village courts. The provision of the act shall be in addition to the provisions of any other law relating to the contempt of court. This is all about the Contempt of Court 1971 Act. Then we have the Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act 1986. So what it is? The act prohibits indecent representation of women through advertisements or in publications, writings, paintings, figures, or in any other manner, or for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So this is basically talking about a representation and the misrepresentation or indecent representation of a woman in any media in form of writing or painting, figures, visuals, pictures or anything. So that is part of this Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act. So let us understand what are those prohibition. So first one is prohibition of advertisement containing indecent representation of women. So as part of that, no person shall publish or cause to publish or arrange or take part in publication of advertisement which contains indecent representation of a woman in any form. Unfortunately, we are having in the books, but we are not following it, right? Then next is prohibition of publication or sending by post of books, pamphlets, etc. containing indecent representation of a woman. So as part of this, no person shall produce or cause to be produced anything like a book or pamphlet, paper, film, writing, drawing, or figure by post which contains indecent representation. But the same Prohibition Act says that this may not apply to any book, pamphlet, paper, slide, film, photograph, representation or figure if it is published for the public good on the ground that such book, pamphlets, paper, slide, film or learning or other objects are of general concern or which is used as bona fide for religious purpose. Any representation sculptured, engraved, painted or otherwise represented in any Asian monument or any temple or any in film in respect of the Cinematography Act. So this is about the, on the top it says that there is a prohibition, and in the bottom it says that there is also it doesn't apply if it is been part of any book or pamphlet. These are all the loopholes anyhow. Powers to enter and search. Any gazetted officers authorized by state government within the local limits of his area is empowered to enter and search any place in which an offense has taken place, seize any advertisement or any book or pamphlet, slide film, drawings, then it can examine any record or register. So we also see that any search or seizure can be made under Code of Criminal Procedure and inform the nearest magistrate and take his order for the custody. If found guilty on first conviction, they might be awarded imprisonment of maximum 2 years and fine up to 2,000 rupees. Yeah, there are offenses to be cognizable and bailable. So, an offense punishable under this act shall be bailable and cognizable, where accused can be arrested without warrant. In fact, there is need to invoke this act more often in the press and electronic media. Then we have censorship and law. Censor literally means a person whose job is to read books, watch films in order to remove anything offensive from them, or who reads private letters, especially ones sent during war or from prison, to remove parts considerable unsuitable, which are not suitable. So, censorship denotes the changing of the suppression or prohibition of speech or writing that is deemed subversive of the common good. It can occur in all manifestations of authority to some degree, but in modern times we see that it has been of special importance in relation to the government and the rule of law. Censorship in India is exercised through legislation such as Section 153A and 153 of the Indian Penal Code 1860 and Cinematograph Act in 1952. So, in this, censorship is basically, comments expressing disapprobation of the administration or other action of the government without attempting to excite hatred, contempt, or disaffection. If these are follows, violent when, but exactly when these are not followed, that is, so they are trying to incite hatred and all those things, then there is a there we can use this censorship act law. We see that censorship is practiced in India by institutions such as the CBFC, that is Central Bureau of Film Certification, which is established under the Cinematography Act 1952. The CBFC is a film regulatory body which not only adheres to standards of censorship but is also rigid about these standards. The CBFC dismissed the Sham-Benegal Committee report on amendments to the laws applying to CBFC. The Press Council of India is another institution which does not directly practice censorship but has often addressed issues concerning the same. Censorship is practiced on the television as well. In 1955, the Parliament enacted the Cable Television Act, which awarded vast powers to the government. They have the right to ban cable operators as well as the news channels. For example, NDTV was banned for a day by the government of India back in November 2016 as part of the Censorship Law Act.
Why, ma'am? Why it has been blocked?
Which one you are talking about? This one?
Yeah, NDTV. Just now you said about the TV. No?
Yeah. In in November 2006, because they were, anti
allegations of. Okay.
No, not allegations. It was something related to. It is basically a censor. When we are saying censor, that means you are not supposed to give anything that can disturb the peace and integrity of the
society.
the society. Country. So that way it was banned. Otherwise, also, what happened was that. That was the first time that it was, barred.
Mm-hmm.
The government defended the ban in the interest of national security, actually.
Mm-hmm. Ma'am, in almost all channels, we'll see if anything is there. Please report BBC or something. They'll.
Yes. Yeah. That NBC, National Broadcaster, that one, no, that is a regulatory body.
Okay.
It's a regulatory body that takes care of the content related to the content. If you see that there is if you have any objection, you can talk to the regulatory body. These are all the laws what we are talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the content, of that particular program. So we, the audiences, should take an appropriate step in that one, and should try to seize that content. Yeah.
Hmm.
But unfortunately will not do. Let us take the best example of what the black humor on ETV, that is what Zabardast hits, what it is, that comedy show, no?
Yes, ma'am.
that there's no humor, there's only a black humor. There's always two ways in that one.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is a
Double
double
meaning
meaning.
something.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it is always the double meaning, and it's demotivating. It is trying to degrade, but humor cannot do that way, no?
Yes, yes.
So that part has to be informed. But do we ever see that we inform them? No,
No,
we
because
watch
people
it.
like it, I think.
Yeah. No, people don't like, people are not aware of it. Unfortunately, we being the second largest democratic country,
Hmm.
unfortunately we don't understand our power of constitution.
Hmm.
We are not aware of our own fundamental duties, fundamental rights, directive principles of the state. So we are just busy in having our own livelihood. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what the very first question what everybody will say is that what see, it's only me, it's not only me that I'm watching, there are so many people watching. So
Yeah.
we put our responsibility on somebody's shoulder. But
Hmm.
then when it has a direct effect on our family or on our loved ones, we raise our issue.
Hmm.
But
Because it is a general thing, people enjoy it and leave it, I think.
see, for that we have to first put one question: are this viewers having that media literacy to understand what is the message they are getting? You, in the second semester, in the second year, you will have a media literacy where we will talk about all those things. What is the
Hmm.
message generated, why the message is generated, is that really that for the humor sake, we can go beyond. See, it is one thing is that it's a double meaning. Yeah. And the
Yes,
second
ma'am.
is degrading of it is gender stereotype. It talks about a woman of ఆడది అంతేనే ఇక ఆమెకి ఏం చెప్పాలా. They just criticize the woman, you know
Yes, ma'am.
on the pretext of that that this gender doesn't have any in quotes quote and quote common sense kind of a thing, and we are only a laughing stock, we are the
Hmm. Yes.
weaker sex. So that way we ourselves are accepting those things. So for that,
Even
what is,
Ramdev Baba comment also is becoming.
yeah, that has been circulated. That is a slip of the tongue, ma.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. He wantedly did not
Yeah.
say,
Yes,
but,
yeah. It
but
is
the
just
people will catch the negative easily.
because if you have a knowledge, you will give a thought. If you don't have a
Yes.
knowledge, see, wow, how did he speak, कैसा औरतों के बारे में उसने ऐसा बुरा कहा. अरे इंसान है, गलती होती होगी. But then if see, when they are in a public meetings, they have to be very cautious. He's not a Tom Dick Harry,
Yeah, yeah.
he's a
He has to
well,
take care.
yeah,
Yes.
he has to take care. But
Yeah. That is not a small word. It is a
yeah.
very big.
And also when he spoke about this one, he knows that what is the message he wants to put. Okay.
Yes.
That in his clothes, in his, see, as we have a right to privacy, he has a right to his thought also. No, we
Yeah.
cannot control anybody's thought. But then in a public meeting where you are a public figure and you are an influencer, you have you mold, you give the public opinions, you yourself, when you talk about this one, just imagine what is the impact on the other gender.
Yes, ma'am.
So that way they have to take care while they do. So coming back to this one NDTV thing, during the Pathankot attack, there was a coverage in the residential area. So as part of that one, the government had to ban. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry has taken up an action against the channel as it revealed the sensitive details. Yesterday we learned, no, in the, as part of the official secret act.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So as part of that one, we see that One second. So as part of that one, we read that, any sensitive information cannot be revealed, though you are the fourth estate or the fourth pillar of the democracy. But when it is coming to the security of the country, you have to take care, and with the utmost careful, you have to do the reporting. So as under the Pathankot attack in 2016, they have gone to the residential areas and they have, given a report where the defense strategies were getting exposed, revealed. So as part of that, for one day they were banned. So and that is about the censorship. Now coming to the censorship, like a Central Bureau of Film Certification. Yeah. So you have U by F, A plus, yeah, all those things. If you, this is a topic that has to be debated by the youth now, because the kind of movies what we are getting, if you really have a censorship, then why there is no censorship on movies like XYZ, right? Let it be Pushpa. What is the film? That film name is Pushpa only, yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. That is what glorifying of a violence.
Yeah.
So why there is no
violence.
certification, right?
Because of that only people learn much, everything they learn from the movies
Yes.
only.
Yes, the way they talk, the way they do. So why they will not?
And one more thing, ma'am, the guy who cut a lady into 38 pieces.
Yeah.
Because of the mental something like that, or what he did, ma'am, I don't understand. His psyche is
This one,
not.
no?
Yeah.
No, it is not about the psych. You see, this is we are talking about Aftab Poonawala and Shraddha Walker
Yes,
case,
ma'am.
no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
This see, both are adults. Fine.
Yeah.
Both are adults. They have taken their own decision, right? So
Yes.
they were into relationship with their own consent, and they have also informed their respective families. So we
Yes.
don't have any say in that one. Now, when this untoward activity has happened, when there was situations, either the girl who actually, she was an aspiring journalist,
Yeah.
this is Shraddha. So that
Okay.
means she is educated, she is well informed, she understands her rights, everything fine. Okay. So here she wanted to come out, but she gave a chance. Might be, we feel that, time being the best healer
Yeah.
for
Yes,
that
ma'am.
one.
Second chart, something like
Yes,
that.
yeah. So of that one, because this is how our society runs,
Yes,
More,
ma'am. Yes.
our society runs more on our opinions and views rather than the laws.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So going outrightly and speaking and stopping, if you stop a relationship with a man after getting married, it is considered to be a sin for a woman, not for a man. So the same thing might have been implied. Whether it was in the fit of heat or in a moment of a heat, this crime has happened. To cover that one, it is basically understood. It is not that, as a human tendency. See, there are two sides for a coin, right? If we talk about the one side, whatsoever, earlier also they were, was assaulting cases on her. Yeah, but this time the limit went across, and there she had to. She was dead.
Yeah.
So there can be a possibility of, giving a thought that to, cover that crime, he might have thought that, if put in pieces or all these things we have seen on that crime patrol and all those things, nothing new. This one.
Yes.
Yeah, no, see how media is giving better ideas to create horrific crimes in the society.
Yes,
So
yes.
here, so might be he wanted to do that one. So any criminal will not go and surrender, no?
Yes, yes.
And after a day or a week or something, somehow we will come to know through the foul smell or to anything else. So might be to hide his crime, he has done this horrific thing. Or there is a possibility also that he wanted to get rid of the dead body, can be one possibility.
Yes.
And the second possibility is, don't know how the relationship was, that the kind of a revenge he has developed, might have led to this, because first of all, a dead body itself is a big thing to be dealt by a common person, and cutting into the pieces is another kind of a courage you need for that one. Not courage, in fact, the mental, a normal person will not do that one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Either you are driven, either they
Yes,
are
ma'am.
driven, either they are driven by the fear, that I might become a criminal, or their past thing which forces them to do that one, isn't it? See, I mean, crime, when we hear only, we have that spines
Shivering.
over our, we have a spine over shivering, we have that one, shivering into spines, but when they have done, then definitely there could be a possibility of the fear, or the possibility of fear, that cannot be ruled, because one day or the other they have to come in front of the law and order. Or their relationship, don't know how it has ended up, where
Ma'am,
he was from
if he's not interested or something, fighter, they would have settled and cleared it. But I mean, killing and cutting into pieces, and that is horrible, no, ma'am.
See, this is how the media is playing. See, that's what we cannot rule out, that he was disinterested to continue the relationship, so he killed and he made into the pieces, is what information given by the media, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, but then there is a possibility also that this is not trying to support anybody, but when we are talking about any issue, as we have read, as a media, we are supposed to give the information of both the sides.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So killing and cutting into the pieces is one theory. But who is setting this theory? Who is setting this agenda? The media is setting the agenda. That because we got 35, it's like the other way around. Because we got 35 pieces, the media has put the information. He was not interested, therefore he has killed the particular person and cut into the 35 pieces. This is one theory. The second theory is he's undergoing that narco analysis. So in that he's speaking about that it was in a moment of a heat. Okay. So moment of a heat can be given a scope here, because in a fit of rage or something, when generally this untoward crimes happen in fit of rage only, no?
Yes.
In a heated moment and all those things. So and she is not a person that when we see her background, she seems to be very much matured enough. She seems to be educated enough. She seems to be a grown up, because she's not in early 20s, she's into the late 20s. So if it happens into the fit of moment also, she would have protected, or she would have done. But things have gone
earlier also she gave the complaint in Maharashtra or something. They have shown the letter also.
That's what they wanted to give a chance. See, she wanted to end the relationship at that time. So this Poonawala's parents had counseled her, saying that it might not be repeated, and that is why she has taken back her case in 2020.
Okay.
So then she thought she will give a chance to her relationship. But unfortunately what we see is that the relationship came till 2022, that is 2 years almost.
Yes.
So what has happened and why it has happened, only that Poonawala can speak, because we don't have Shraddha to put her point of view. So
ma'am, one more thing also, after cutting her into pieces, he got another girl to home. She's a psychologist. I mean, what guts he has, ma'am? Because his anger, he has done that work, but also he's mentally stable. He got another girl and he had sex with her. That also we should consider, no, ma'am?
See, here there are two things, ma'am. See, he is getting connected to the people with the app. That is what Bubble app or something, Bumble app. No?
Yes.
Yeah. So here the drawback of the apps is that, you know, the past of a person is not revealed on the net or the now
Okay.
because it came into the media,
Oh,
we are coming across all these things. There could be a
yes.
possibility that the girl might not know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was he's very good at convincing the people or something. So there is definitely some kind of abnormality at his side, that
Yes,
might
ma'am.
have led to this one. But she would have been more precautious. But at the same time, with the social and societal stigma, she wanted to go ahead. Unfortunately, it has come to such a bad end. This is
Yeah.
not at all accepted. But
Yes.
we see the same case. I wanted to refer to the same case of the similar crime. I just forgot. This is related to this one, no? But in the high profile crime, you know, when we are trying to take or extract the information, we are not highlighting the real information as a media. What happens is that, you know, in the high profile crime, this is a common person crime, right? This is a common person
Yes.
crime, and this is a middle class crime.
Yeah.
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 I was talking about this one, Bollywood actress Sri Devi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bollywood
Yes,
actor
ma'am.
Sri
Yes.
Devi.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
and there are other cases also.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
and Sushant Rathoda, what was his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In all those cases, why we are not getting the facts? You know,
Mm.
here, the instance is, you know, killing is one instance, and pieces into the body is another part. Here, killing, more than killing, making the body into the part is the crime what is more highlighted, which is not
Yes.
acceptable, I agree. But at the same time, the same thing, suddenly Sri Devi, who is in a marriage, she will go and take a bath and she's dead.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just is it not so doubtful, you tell me? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And
But
how?
because she's taking, I mean, pills to reduce the weight in that way. Some people say that in that way because of the
No,
very
this is the other angle that has been given. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
when she's
Mm.
taking a pill, she know that, you know, what she has to do. They are
Mm.
not in, see, they are all celebrities, right?
Yes, ma'am.
They are all celebrities. And okay, if she was taking a pill, so sometime before, if there should be some kind of a reaction or side effects, no?
Yes,
She
ma'am.
was normal.
Yeah.
The other story, as we come to know the inner story, is that, you know, that Boni Kapoor was going bankrupt, and she had some crores worth policy which can
Mm-hmm.
come into his name, and so that could be the reason for this sudden demise of Sri Devi. This is the
Mm.
story.
Yes.
Otherwise, see, if otherwise she's fine and well. Okay, if she's you know, at least the you know, media report should say that, medical report should say that, you know, it was a cardiac arrest or something, you know, if because of the pills and something.
Yes.
We don't know the fact till now. Nobody
Yeah.
knows. You know,
But
there is no
ma'am,
yeah.
in that he can do in India also. India has, I mean, he has many loopholes to escape easily. In Dubai, there are strict rules. In spite of that, also they managed the body to come here, and he was
Nay,
escaped.
nay. See, we have that extradition rules and treaties, no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there in see how the crime works, God only knows.
Mm.
But then they have certain intentions. See, to happen, for a crime to happen, we don't have muhurtalu or time or a place or something. These are
Yes.
not planned crimes, you
Mm.
know.
But first, ma'am, Dubai, I mean, country, they did not accept it. They did not allow the body. It took 3 days to come to
Yes,
India.
yes, they are not, they don't give, not only anybody, the law of Gulf country or other country is they follow
Yeah.
the rules strict. Unlike us, they don't give. Suppose
Yes.
if the thing has happened with some Dubai resident here, how
Mm.
we would arrange rather and
Yeah.
show differently. We act so differently, as if, you know, we they want to show only the emotional commitment here. But when there it comes, they have they wanted to certify everything with the medical, and that is the rule. Even if an Indian labor who works there, if unfortunately something happens, there are certain rules and regulations that have to be followed. Now, now we have to see whether they have followed the certain rules or regulations or not, because they are those high profile people, no? So they have managed, because when we are talking about the Gulf countries, it is only 70% of population is India only, extended Indians staying there. So there could be, but that doesn't mean that no, we are raising doubts about the foreign country, the Gulf countries rule law. To till date, we have not got any clarification related to Sri Devi's death. You can search, yeah. Till now, we just feel that because of the pill, the other stories 1, 2, 3 come out. There was the friction among the daughters where she wanted to end. This was also an angle going, no, that she didn't like her daughter's behavior and all those things, and she was trying to dominate, and she was very upset taking her daughter's behaviors and all those things. Jahnavi and all those things. Where there are so many stories that come with her thing. So the crux of the matter is, when we are dealing with the case, irrespective of the backgrounds, we have to see the fact. Yeah. The day, see, unfortunately, the crime has happened. But yesterday, when we read about the law and how to report the crime, it's all sensitive issue. It is see how it is creating a curiosity among us. Why he has done, how he has done, what will happen, and indirectly we are also developing a fear. What if a person in my child's life, anybody of that sort comes, we might be overcautious, but still indirectly there is always somewhere in the back of our mind that we have deal under some kind of a fear or a threat or something, because they see all this Neralu, Ghoralu, Crime Patrol, Savdhan India, they are not
and even the religion they'll get easily. Religion also they'll get easily on the screen.
Yes, there is when the crime happens, he doesn't belong to any religion, because no religion will ask anybody to kill anybody. The